and welcome. Today we're going to be reviewing the invoice settings area and how invoice settings can be designed to be used quickly and effectively. In the invoice dashboard, you can navigate to the lower right-hand corner of your screen to the settings menu next to the gear icon. And this will bring up the available settings in your account. Some of these menus may be a little different depending on your subscription level. If you see something that you would like to add, please navigate to the question mark at the top right-hand side of your dashboard, and an invoice team member will walk you through steps to add that feature to your account. Each of these menus will have something that may be useful to your account inside of Invoiced. Implementing settings correctly is meant to act as a default for any information that is brought in, and will help your company manage your aging and collections. If you're new to Invoiced and this is your first time setting up an Invoiced account, walking through these menus in order, each one will be descriptive and will help you get closer to finalizing your business setup. Our user documentation also explains each of these settings and options in great detail. Hit the question mark at the top right-hand corner of your dashboard to access documentation. And there will also be helpful links included in each of these submenus that will bring you to the document that describes that feature. The menu is set up with intention. Simply start at the top and work your way through. Your company preferences or the needs of your business may change over time, but an initial pass will be the most beneficial way to get you set up for success. Starting with the business profile. Most of this information will be filled out when you onboarded your account and started your invoice setup. So your company name, address, things like that will automatically be populated inside of your company contact profile. These can be edited if you want to add things like phone numbers, websites, etc. And then loading up your branding. Choose your logo and color, and this will be pushed through all of your engagement. The customer portal, your PDF downloads, your communication will all carry your company logo. Choose your currencies. If you're using multiple, this will set up your base currency, the symbols you prefer, date formatting, time zones, and default language. Next, invite your team. If you have other team members, you can bring them in by adding a user. Users will require a first, last name, and an email, and then assign them a role, which will give them the correct permissions as users are added into your account. Notifications. Each user can sign up for their own notifications and decide what email notifications you would like Invoiced to send to you and the frequency at which you'd like them to be sent. Accounts receivable. If you're creating invoices inside of Invoiced, either by keying invoices in, using API calls, using the subscriptions module, or using importers, you can set up automatic numbering sequences. As you add customers, invoices, credits, all of these will increase +1 for every new record. If you are importing already created transactions from your accounting system, for instance, those will usually already have a record number assigned. Unit precision, most of the time we're going to default to 2 decimals, but if you need to change that, you can. If you're applying credits to new invoices, this will automatically apply any credit balances to the oldest balance moving forward, and also if you're using estimates. Autopay, if turned on, will act as a default. So any new customer created will automatically opt into an autopay term. If you turn this off, for instance, if you're allowing customers net 30 terms, you still can turn this on a customer by customer basis. And your aging. You can decide what you'd like those aging ranges to be. If you're running a net 30, for example, 30 days would be standard, but you can move these around, open them up, or shrink them down, depending on what's more accurate for you to view. Payments. Connecting a payment gateway with Invoiced is going to be how you receive your payments online. The list of gateways that we support is, of course, in our documentation, or you can connect Stripe directly through the interface. You can also add payment instructions. If you accept things like checks and wire transfers, allowing customers to see instruction will get them to the next step in making payment inside of the customer portal. Emails. All of your transactions will come with an email trigger. And this is how customer notifications are automatically sent from the Invoiced platform. You can customize which triggers you'd like to use and also the email templates for those triggers. Templates with a star will act as a default, but editing these templates is easy. You can drop in variables and customize this messaging to look like whatever you'd like. You can also decide if you'd like to attach a PDF of the transaction itself or any secondary file attachments to the email. Chasing. Smart chasing is the way we use to make sure customers are staying inside of terms. You can set your chasing cadences on the customer or invoice level. One is generally set as a default. So as your cadences, as your customers and your invoices are being created, cadences will lock on and proceed through whatever steps you give it in order to collect a balance. There is additional documentation and a user video available on Smart Chasing Setup. Appearance. This is what the PDFs of your invoices will look like. And here are the templates you can choose from. I'm going to choose the modern template, and this will automatically apply that template to all of my transaction types. You can also preview what that template will look like with it has your logo and branding attached to it. And you can choose additional information you'd like shown on your invoice. If you'd like to show email addresses, phone numbers, website information, and other messaging. Customer portal. This is where you decide what you want your customers to be able to see. First, if you want to enable the portal, which is a great option to have. And if you want your customers to do things like modify their own contact information, if you're using parent-child accounts, if you're allowing partial payments, and you can work down the list. Each of these will have a little explainer, and it'll show exactly the information that your customers will be able to have access to in the customer portal. Custom fields. If you're creating custom fields, you can add up to 10 additional fields to any object. So any customer, on any invoice, on any payment, line item, etc. You can place lots of information in different places. We do this for a few reasons. Sometimes this is information I want the customer to see. If I want them to be able to see this information in their portal or on their PDF downloads, you can make these fields visible. Otherwise, you can hide them. Maybe it's something you need to drive reporting if you'd like to report on things like departments or regions. Or maybe it's something you need to kick off additional development tools. Whatever your reason for using custom fields, they will all be located here. Cash application. Here you can connect a bank account or multiple bank accounts and start to import deposit transactions as they are hitting your account. You are able to attach your bank for a bank feed and also set up some settings and rules to determine how you'd like your payment records to be imported. In this receivables section, it's split into two areas. On the other side of this line, you can see some other options. These options are going to be helpful if you're using Invoiced to create your invoices. You're importing your invoices from an accounting system or using an importer. These things are importing information that's already in place. If you're choosing to create your invoices inside of the Invoiced platform, this is where you can set up your item list and some other options you have, like discount availability, automatically charging sales tax, setting up default payment terms, and setting up late fee schedules. Subscriptions. If you're using subscription billing, this is where you will find those settings. So what happens at the end of a subscription cycle if subscriptions are being canceled for non-payment? And there's a specific section of documentation related to all things subscription billing. Plans are going to dictate how your subscriptions are billing and the frequency in which they bill. And sign-up pages. If you're creating sign-up pages for customers to be able to enroll in subscriptions and make purchases themselves, you can customize those here. And lastly, we have a menu that's geared towards developer tools. Now that you've worked through these menus and understood what's in them, these settings will act as a default. The settings that you've engaged will now automatically roll on to new customers, setting default terms, assigning numbering, setting payment expectations, triggering notifications, and chasing balances. The last step would be to connect an application. Maybe you're using QuickBooks or FreshBooks or Xero or NetSuite. Any of the applications you connect will automatically start generating your transactions. So that's a quick run through of the settings. Remember to take your time, and these menus will have those little documentation links to pop you out to the specific document that addresses the menu you're in. And also hit that question mark at the top right-hand side of the page to, again, access documentation and also your support options with any additional questions. Thank you for sharing your time with us today, and welcome to Invoiced.